YouTube channel. Today topic is very important and it is continuation of previous topic. Define the concept national interest in international relations. Today's lecture is about methods and ways to acquire national interest in present international politics of coexistence and confrontation. The entire lecture is in parts available on YouTube. Today I will focus on remaining methods of acquiring national interest. I have discussed two methods. One, regional organization, the use of UN forum as method of acquiring national and collective global interest. Second, strategic alliances, coalitions, and regional alliances. Today's topic number 3 is diplomatic negotiations. Are diplomatic channels or diplomacy? Diplomatic negotiations were another important method for the protection of international interest of European states since the Treaty of Westphalia. Diplomatic negotiations was used to reconcile the divergent or different interests of the European states through process of mutual give and take policy. Diplomacy is a universally accepted means for securing national interest. It is through diplomacy that the states seek to secure the goals of national interest. Diplomats of various states establish or make contacts with the diplomats of other states and conduct negotiations for achieving the national interest without jeopardizing others' interest. Diplomacy involves the presentation and persuading opponent state to reach on mutual consensus. Before the World Wars I and II, diplomats used persuasion and threats, rewards and threats of denial of rewards as the means for exercising power and securing goals of national interest. The UN is encouraging diplomatic channels to diffuse the tension between states. The regional organizations also adopt diplomacy to bring the warring states to table, as SARC did in post-1998 nuclear explosions carried out by India and Pakistan. The non-aligned movement of third world countries extensively used diplomatic ways to persuade both superpowers to reduce tension and solve their socio-economic problems. The NAM or non-aligned movement has been successful in protecting the national interest of third world countries. They did not even fire a single bullet but effectively used all forums of international system. The OIC and Arab League coerced Israel to accept the existence of Palestine. The ASEAN, Association of Southeast Asian Nations, is collectively securing their members' interest through diplomatic negotiations and never fight in recent history with each other. In addition to national interest, states are trying to protect common interest in the larger interest of international community. For example, they are exerting pressure on nuclear states to avoid the use of nuclear weapons through mutual give and take, accommodation, and reconciliation. Diplomacy successfully secured the desired goals and objectives of national interest. The global community has acknowledged diplomacy as an instrument of securing national interest. Marjanta regards diplomacy as the most permanent means. However, not all the objectives and goals of national interest can be secured through diplomacy. Number 4, fourth method is coercive methods and unilaterally imposing will. Coercive methods adopted by the states for the enforcement of national interest are of negative character, even though they may produce positive results. These acts are embargoes, boycotts, retaliation, intervention, and reprisal, severance of diplomatic relations. These are non-violent in character and do not create serious international crisis or problem. The global community adopted coercive measures and forced the United States and its Western allies to leave the Korean Peninsula and Vietnam. The UN adopted coercive methods against USSR to withdraw from Afghanistan. The world community coerced the government of South Africa to end apartheid. The world community, under the umbrella of UN, liberated the Kuwait, forcibly and illegally occupied by Iraq. The USA has taken coercive measures through the UN to desist the Iran from pursuing nuclear technology. The United States has concluded various pacts with Saudi Arabia and many other Arab countries to pressurize Iran. The Russia and China are also supporting Iran to deter the United States. These types of measures are coercive, and war does not break out. You have not seen any war between the United States and Iran, despite various contention issues between them. The US and Russia took coercive methods over the Ukraine crisis and imposed severe economic sanctions, but USA did not attack Russia. The US is indicting Pakistan that Pakistan is supporting terrorist groups only to get things done from Islamabad. Pakistan is also victim of terrorism, and our soldiers and civilians have sacrificed their lives. Terrorism has damaged our economy. The international community also raised voice against any human violation in any country of the world and exert pressure over it. Pressure, not firing on that country, but moral on every forum, exert pressure. National interest is directly interdependent with the power of states. It is proven fact that states have been using various forms of force for securing their national interest. International law before World War I and II recognized coercive means short of war as method for European states only to fulfilling their national interest. The European states used to force weaker states to accept their will. The weaker states eventually surrendered and accepted the will of powerful states. Although war has been considered illogical means to settle issues, yet states frequently used in international relations when their permanent interest was threatened. Experiencing and considering the destruction in previous wars, that is World War I and II, states realized the importance of peaceful means of conflict resolution as the rational way and method for protecting national interest. However, despite recognizing the importance, states continue to use all methods whenever they think that their permanent national interest is in jeopardy, not secondary. However, in the interest of international peace, security and prosperity, states are expected to refrain from using coercive means against particular states or group of states. They should emphasize peaceful means for the settlement of disputes and for securing interest. Today, international world politics, world public opinion forces the states to refrain from using illogical means. States have the right and duty to protect their national interest, and they have the freedom to choose the necessary way. They can use peaceful means as and when they may desire or deem essential, while formulating the goals and objectives of national interest. All states must formulate rational policies to make them compatible with the international interest of peace, security, environmental protection, protection of human rights, and sustainable development. Number 5 method is war. State acquired their national interest through war since the creation of city-states. War throughout the ages has been used as an instrument for avenging injustice and for protecting rights. Nations invaded other nations to prove their superiority over other nations. Recourse to war is taken only when all other means does not produce result in favor of a powerful state. War is no doubt the final and most effective means of pursuing national interest. The causes of war have been different from time to time in geography or area. They are natural, political, psychological, economic, cultural, and ideological causes. Samuel Huntington, in his book The Clash of Civilization and Remaking the World Order, claims that wars are by and large caused because of conflicting ideologies and cultures. The First and Second World Wars were between two conflicting ideologies and clash of national interest. Clash of national interest of European countries. The Arab-Israel War has also roots in ideology. The feeling of insecurity and the fear of being occupied or annexed by other states are undoubtedly the strongest potential cause of war in the world. The commitment of one state to fulfill the national interest at any cost also cause of war. Like United States invaded Afghanistan only to secure his national interest. War is the result of multiple factors. No single factor causes war. Since the cause of war are cumulative, some causes becomes more important than other causes and eventually becomes the direct or immediate cause of war. War has helped in achieving national interest, freedom, and democracy. War helped American and Latin American people to get freedom from colonial powers. Lot of countries got independence in the wake of World War II. Imperialism pursued by European powers was buried all over the world. Prestigious nations of the world consider honorable war better than dishonorable peace. War contributes to unity and peace at home. War has stimulated inventions and created a revolution in industrial and agricultural production. In present era of coexistence and confrontation, war has become last priority of states as international system uses other peaceful methods such as disarmament, collective security and application of international law. No doubt, wars do break out, but anti-war steps are more powerful than warring countries or war itself. Number 6. Economic method. In this era of globalization, conduct of international economic relations has emerged as a key or important means of national interest. Developed powers use economic aid and loan as the means for securing their interest and support to perpetuate their philosophy. The dependence of less developed states upon developed powers for the import of industrial product, technological expertise, foreign assistance, armament, and for selling raw material has been responsible for strengthening the role of economic instrument of acquiring national interest. The major economically developed countries secure their interest by offering aid to other countries for their support on international and regional forums. The United States provided aid to European countries in order to keep them away from communist bloc after Second World War. The communist countries provided aid to other countries to keep them in their sphere of influence. In recent years, China is providing aid to Asian and many African countries to get economic and strategic interest and support. The major powers avoid coming into confrontation, hence making friends by providing economic aid. Number 7. Global public opinion. The revolutionary development of the means of communication in the recent times has increased the scope of global public opinion as a means for securing of national interest. Before World Wars, the important method for securing national interest was propaganda. It was profoundly used by opponents against each other. However, it has lost relevance due to technological advancement and awareness. Global public opinion has reduced its relevance. It has realized world countries to secure national interest without jeopardizing others' interests. Global public opinion affected the actions of states against prevalent international norms. Global public opinion is directly addressed to the people of entire states to respect others' interests to get their own interest. Wish you good luck. See you in the next lecture. Goodbye.